Just being at a place like Clemson, you'll have seen many teammates go through this process. Now you're doing it. How are you finding it, first of all?
Yeah, it's definitely been like a journey. It's been a process. It's been long, but it's been fun being able to, chase dreams that I've had since I was, a lot younger. And be able to kind of live that out, like going to the combine, things like that, you know, a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do. So I'm just super grateful and, appreciative of, the opportunities that, the Lord has, put in front of me. I'm just trying to make the most of them.
You've been at Clemson a long time, longer than some of your teammates will have been. Is it almost like from some of them, like finally you're coming to join us in the NFL?
Yeah, no, I've definitely, the kind of the way I look at it is just everybody's journey is different. Mine is a little bit longer than some, but yeah, no, my time at Clemson, was just great, and that's what made it kind of hard for me to leave. I definitely had opportunities, this past year to leave and go pursue NFL, but just the type of relationships I built at Clemson, just really what type of place it is, it made it hard for me to leave, honestly.
At this time of year, we get to all we talk about is what you can do on the field. I wanted to know off the field, what makes you happy? What do you do when you're not kind of playing football? What makes you happy off the field?
Yeah, I mean, I'm into clothes, shoes, fashion, like hats, stuff like that. So, I like shopping for that, collecting things like that. But outside of that, just really just being with family and friends, being with those I love. That's usually what I'm doing when I'm not, playing football, just around, whether it be teammates here at Clemson who have became brothers to me, or just family at home. I just love being around, people who, just love me, support me, and just have kind of been there for me, since the beginning.
How big has that sneaker collection got now? Because I know you're into your sneakers. How big is that looking?
Yeah, I mean, I probably have about, I want to say like 50, 55 pairs of shoes. So it's growing. It's been growing each year. I'm excited to see where that can end up in the future.
I mean, when you get to NFL, you get a little bit more money. So is there any kind of pair of sneakers that you want that maybe you haven't got yet?
Um, it's I would say the Bread 11s, and it's not like a, super expensive shoe. It's just been hard for me to find. Haven't been able to really find it. So that shoe or the Black Cat fours, which are like super expensive now. So whenever I do get a little bit more money, that'll definitely be a purchase for sure.
How much are you looking forward to that first game day arrival in the NFL where kind of we see guys rocking up in all these different outfits? Are you looking forward to that side of things where we'll see you on social media in a different outfit every week?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. Kind of since I've been here at Clemson, like COVID happened, and then just graduating. So a lot of my classes were like online, so I wasn't able to go on campus to really, like put clothes on. So I felt like I was wearing basketball shorts and sweatpants every day. So to kind of be able to switch it up on game day. Then at Clemson, we had to wear suits each week. So to be able to kind of switch it up, whether I want to wear a suit or maybe jeans one week, I'm super excited for that as well.
Who's got the best drip in that Clemson locker room? I know Darian, he fancied himself. He loved the fashion. Who had that best drip in the Clemson?
Yeah, Darian can definitely dress, but I think I gotta give it to two of my close friends. They're younger than me, but Malcolm Green, and Trey Williams, both of those guys can, they got tons of shoes, tons of clothes, more than me. And they know how to put it together for sure.
Yeah. Look, take me back to the very beginning. Where did football begin for you? Whether it be watching someone, watching a game, how did it all start for you?
Yeah, I mean, my father always grew up as a Clemson fan, or as a football fan in general. So I was always watching football with him on Sundays or Monday night, Thursdays, whatever it may be. Whenever a game was on, we were watching it together. And really kind of wanted to try it out. And I eventually started playing in like fifth grade, and just kept getting better and better and better. And now we're here today. But fifth grade was right when I started playing and just having fun with it. But I would say probably about 10th or 11th grade was really when I kind of fell in love with the game.
Given the nature of your position, you were naturally bigger than a lot of people. How dominant were you in kind of pee wee football, youth football? Was that a fun time for you, bulldozing people?
Yeah, no, it's definitely fun. And then I've always been a big dude. So like going to games, parents be like, "Where's his birth certificate?" Things like that. Just because I was so big. So But yeah, no, it was definitely fun being able to just use my size to pretty much dominate, especially at that young level.
Was it always O-line when you were younger, or has it been other positions as well?
Yeah, I mean, I was really always too big to really carry the ball. So um, played O line and D line, got to high school, played a little bit of fullback my junior year. So yeah, was pretty much offensive line has kind of been my thing though.
You mentioned your dad there, and I hope you don't mind me asking you about him, but I wanted to ask you, what do you think are the traits that he's left with you that maybe are the most important, that makes you who you are today, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Just really what kind of man he was. Like my father was a man of a man of Christ. Good father, good husband, and just watching how he treated people, whether it be my mother, whether it be myself, my sister, and just really other people in our community. Like I felt like everyone knew my dad, everyone loved my dad. So to have so many people speak highly of you, it's something that I envision for myself in the future. Just leaving a good impression on people and just treating people right.
Will he be on your mind on draft week and eventually when you make your NFL debut?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously he's not here for me to share the opportunity with him, but I know he would be so happy. He grew up like he played football. All of his brothers played football, and once again, he's a fan. So I know that moment would be super excited for him. So he's always on my mind anyway. But especially that weekend, he'll definitely be on my mind heavy.
When you have to kind of process something like that at such a young age, does that almost accelerate your how you grow up? You become the man of the house, and how did that kind of impact how quickly you grew up and developed as a man?
Yeah, definitely. After that, just because at that point it's just me, my mom, and my sister. So kind of had to grow up while I'm the youngest in the house. Still had to kind of grow up and essentially be the man, and it definitely allowed me to or helped me mature faster. And you know, I don't want to say it was a blessing, but kind of a blessing in disguise, just the way I grew up. And I had a great support system around me who helped me deal with that, and made it a lot easier than it would have been without them. But it definitely kind of sped up my process of growing up, and I felt like I definitely matured faster than most for sure.
If I was to ask kind of friends or family that are kind of in your inner circle, what is Jordan like? How would they describe you, do you think?
Um, my mom for sure. Well, really, everybody would say he's kind of quiet, laid back, and that's just kind of how I've always been. But I would say, yeah, quiet, laid back, loyal, but fun to be around. Like once I get comfortable with people, I'm always joking, never really take anything serious. Once I get comfortable with you, but I just like to, I like to have fun, like to just joke around, and once again, just be with those I love, and with that, just having a good time.
Now, take me inside that Clemson locker room because I think we see every year when guys like yourself declare for the draft, it's such a difficult decision to make because you are saying goodbye to Clemson and it's such a tight-knit program. Take us inside that Clemson locker room. What's it like?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. There's so many good dudes, and you really become brothers in that locker room. Like the best man that would be at my wedding one day. Like my best friends have come from playing football here. So there's tons of great people from, and it's crazy because one of my best friends is from Connecticut, the other one's from Virginia and Georgia. So it's like you meet people from everywhere and just y'all bond, become best friends. And for me, I didn't think it would be as hard for me to leave this place. Honestly, like when I was out in Texas training after the season's over, I would like get a call, like my friends would call me from here, and I'd be like, "Bro, I miss y'all." Like, and I've been gone for like 2 months, and it's like, man, I miss y'all. I can't wait to get back. Just being around, the people I was with for the last 3, 4, 5 years. So with that being said, it the locker room is special, and it is tough to leave an environment like that.
Well, what's your fondest memory, do you think? Whether it be football related or something completely unfootball related from your time there?
Um, I mean, I won a national championship, which is, being able to win at the highest level in college football is such a special, moment. But outside of that, I would say really just, the locker rooms, kind of like we just talked about, like, winning a bunch of games is fun and everything, but like what I truly remember from like my time at Clemson is just all the dumb stuff we did in the locker room, or even outside of facility, whether we're just at each other's house playing a game or something. Like just being around good people is something that will be with me and stay with me, way longer than the wins and the losses.
I guess when you compare Clemson to other programs, it is naturally bigger. More people know about it. What's it like on, say, a game day after a win around kind of campus and town? What's that kind of recognition like, and to be a part of that team?
Yeah, especially being in a place where like there's no NFL team, so
Yeah.
like Clemson football is such a big thing around here, and everyone loves it. And you know, after a win, any win, you can just feel like there's a sense in the air. There's just everyone's like super happy, super excited, So fans rush the field, and just even after the game's over, like when I'm making my way back to my house and stuff, like I can just still feel a good, vibe from just in the air. Like everyone's super excited. Everyone's happy about a win. So after a win in Clemson, like there's nothing better than that. Just being able to win at home, with a bunch of great fans that appreciate what you do.
What's it like working with a guy like Coach Sweeney, who we love to hear him talk? I guess he's like almost like having a teammate that is your coach.
Right. Yeah, no, it's great. He's super loyal. Like he'll go to war for, anybody in that locker room. And, one thing that, I can always respect about Coach Sweeney is that, you won't always like or maybe even agree with what he says, but, he means what he says, like he's not a fake person, and, he might treat one person this way or another person this way. He treats everybody the same. And like whether you like what he says or not, when it comes out of his mouth, he's gonna stand by that. And all you can do is respect that. But once again, he's a follower of Christ. So, I grew in my relationship with Christ, over my time here at Clemson because of him. And just really just the way he leads us. He's a perfect example of what, a husband, a father should be, So um, kind of being able to look at him and see, this is kind of where I want my life to look like down the road, is great.
Is watching him run down the hill at the start of a game enough to kind of hype you guys up?
Yeah, honestly, like I didn't even know sometimes like earlier in my career, I didn't even know like he just jets down the hill that fast. But once, obviously there was a video that kind of went viral about it. Once I seen that, I was like, whoa, like I didn't know he could move that fast, and I didn't know, I would be scared to just like I never sprinted down the hill, So it takes a little bit of skill to be able to get down that hill as fast as he does.
I can't. We get to see kind of you doing videos with people like KJ and Darren in particular. Were they part of your kind of inner circle at Clemson? And what kind of, if you weren't playing football, what were you doing?
Yeah, Darian for sure. He was a part of kind of my circle. I have like different friend groups for everything, but he was definitely a friend. KJ is actually my roommate, so we're brothers. We're close. Like we're always with each other. Like we were eating dinner last night. Like me and KJ are super close. So I would say majority of the time, if I'm not playing football, I'm somewhere with KJ, whether it be in our house, maybe on a lake or out to eat, something like that. Like I feel like me and KJ are kind of just like always together.
So there was the video that went on social media recently of you kind of almost taking KJ out. Did he thank you for that one?
Um, Yeah, I wouldn't say he actually was a kind of a good sport about it. Like, to this day, he'll be like, I'd do it again for him. I just appreciated him because, the coach who was working me out was like, you have anyone who can hold the bags? And I was like, listen, I trust you, KJ. I feel like you would do a good job at this. Can you hold the bag for me? He was like, sure. And then it was kind of the last rep. So I was like, I gotta finish well, This is kind of how that happened. But, he was good about it. Like it was kind of, we laughed about it, it was funny. And I appreciate him for doing that for me.
I was going to ask you if you had kind of a stand-up play or rep from your time there, and I remember you saying there was a Boston College one where you're kind of out in space and you kind of kill this guy out in open field. Talk me through that play, and I guess how much pride you take in being able to kick outside and destroy a man.
Yeah, just kind of like a reverse that we would run here. And, I'm creeping down, trying to get lost a little bit in the crowd. And then obviously the reverse is coming back. So I'm getting out to be the lead blocker. And that's super fun for me. Like getting out in space, being able to show my athletic ability, and ultimately like finish people on the ground like that. As a lineman, I don't care what anybody says. As a lineman, getting out in space and putting a DB corner in the ground, like there's not much that's better than that. So to be able to do that, and it was kind of the first play of the game, kind of a tone setter. So to be able to do that, like I was super excited after, like I was really hyped.
It's even nicer because DBs talk, they talk in games a lot, and you
They
guys,
all
linemen barely talk at all, and to get out there, that must be even sweeter.
they always talk.
Talk to me about you mentioned there that national championship winning season, that incredible Clemson team, just to be a part of that team, and what was the driving force you think that kept you guys with that momentum going for the entire year?
Yeah, that group knew what they wanted to do. Like that was a group that Christian Wilkins could have left. Cleveland Farrell could have left. Like that was a group who they all came back to school and knew that they wanted to win a national championship. And with that amazing defense, with Dexter Lawrence as well, Isaiah Simmons, so many players that are playing in the NFL now on that defense, and then an offense with a good offensive line, a quarterback as like Trevor, and then so many pieces around them, Hunter Renfro, Justin Ross, T, and all those guys. Like it was a special team, but it was a team that they were determined to get there. They knew what they wanted to do, and they weren't going to let anyone or anything kind of get in the way of that. So just being around a group that I was able to kind of witness and this is how I want to lead. This is how I want to work each day, lead by example. It was a great older group for me to be around, especially as a freshman.
What was it like playing with Trevor? Because it's brilliant to see him kind of thriving in NFL now. To be a teammate to him, that must help you in a way because he's so good. But what was it like to play with him?
Yeah, no, it was. Um, I don't think I appreciated how good he was until like he was gone. Like I felt like Trevor was such a good player. Like we all knew that or being there with him, playing with him, but like just watching so many different quarterbacks around the country and like you don't realize how special he was. Like one day we kind of went back and watched highlights of him, and I was like, man, he was special. And like we all knew he was good, but we didn't know how good he was, And he's one of the best college quarterbacks ever played the game, So to be able to witness that like firsthand, block for him, things like that was special. And some I'll always be able to tell like my kids and family and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at your kind of journey now as you're about to enter the NFL, I'm sure you get to read multiple scouting reports about yourself. Some you agree with, some you won't agree with. If you were to kind of look at your own game, what sets you apart, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think um, just to begin with, like I played at Clemson for a while, started 39 games, played almost 3,000 snaps, and never missed a game, because of injury or anything. So that just speaks on like availability. And then I've played both sides of the ball, left and right side of the ball. I can play guard. I'm able to snap. So I just think with myself being able to play every position on the offensive line just adds value to me. And then if they want to move me inside, I think my feet help me. I don't think many defensive tacklers are used to playing guys who can move as well as I do. So, I think I bring, a lot to the table, wherever organization wants to put me, I think I'll have success, and I'm excited, for the opportunity and the challenge.
I think looking around, a consensus has been that people are sleeping on you, and I don't know if you pay attention to that or feel that way. But why would you think that would be if that is the case?
I think a big reason, and whatever it is, I understand it. But I mean, I've played tackle here, and a lot of teams aren't projecting me to play tackle in the NFL, which is fine. And I guess it's tough because I don't have any game film. Like I've practiced at guard a bunch, but I don't have any technical game film at guard. Which obviously, if you're a team, it's kind of like, oh, we haven't seen him play guard, which I understand. But I mean, I feel like to be able to play at tackle at such a high level, at a university like Clemson, I think, I feel confident in my abilities to get job done at the next level, and I think some teams are starting to wake up a little bit, so um, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter when you're called. It just matters, how long can you stay in the NFL and what can you do when your opportunity, presents itself.
how much work have you kind of done inside? I know you've spoken in the past, you've done some work inside in practice that naturally we don't see, but how much have you kind of focused on that transition should it come?
Yeah, I mean, luckily I was able to get some good reps in at my time here at Clemson at guard, and then over the past 2.5 months I've been trained nothing but guard and center. So just obviously training and playing football like in a game situation is kind of different, but I feel confident. I've been working with great people, and I've been working my tail off to get better and better. So I'm excited for the opportunity, and I know I'll make the most of it.
Talk to me about the combine experience because you'll have watched it growing up, and a lot of your teammates go through it, and to now be a part of that. And did you feel by the end of the week that people were talking about you more?
Yeah, I definitely do. I feel like, it was a little quiet for me early on. Still met with a bunch of teams, but I feel like after, I ran my 40, I looked good in the drills, things like that. I feel like that kind of opened, the eyes of, O-line coaches and teams just in general. And then as well as my pro day, I felt like I had a good pro day as well, which I feel like helped me. So I feel like I'm in a good place. It only takes one team to like you. So that's all I need. And I'm excited for the opportunity.
What were those team interviews like? And any tough questions? We know they throw some curveballs at you guys.
Yeah. Luckily, like I didn't get any weird questions or anything like that. Just tell me about yourself. How'd you grow up? Different things like that. Just trying to get to know me. And then we talked a lot of football. But luckily, I wasn't. I didn't get any weird questions. So I'm good. I'm happy about that.
I wanted to ask you about Miles as well because you'll know about him as well as anybody coming to this kind of class and looking at it. What is he bringing to the NFL team that drives him?
Yeah, his Miles is like he's just a dog. He's big, he's fast, he's physical, strong. And what a lot of people don't know is he's a really smart football player. Like he understands the game. And that's half the battle, being able to understand the game, why you're doing this, why you're stepping with this foot. So he has all the intangibles, and I know he'll make a team happy come the end of April, So, he's a dominant player, and he'll continue to get better, obviously. So, I expect big things from him in the NFL.
And somebody we won't see this year, but maybe in the future is Will Shipley. Talk to me about how special that guy is. His production is being kind of off the charts at Clemson. How good is he going to be once he comes up?
Yeah, man, he'll be great. Ship is one of the biggest competitors I've ever met. Like it's really him, Coach Swinney. Like I'm a super competitive guy, and Will might be more competitive than me. Like he loves to win, he loves to compete, he loves to play, and I think the biggest thing about him is he's gonna outwork people. Like people might look at him and oh, he's not as good as you, whatever, but he's gonna outwork you. He's gonna make you a believer, and that's what he's done around the country. Like, if you hear that name and you like, oh, okay, like we know who that is, we know what he can do, So he's gonna continue to make people a believer. He's gonna continue to thrive and succeed, and I'm super excited to watch them as a team this year, but I know he's gonna kill it as well.
Yeah, just final few before I let you go off. Your NFL idol, was there an NFL idol growing up, somebody you watched, wanted to kind of emulate in your career?
I would say over the past couple of years, like I've studied, watched Trent Williams, and I feel like that's an easy answer. Just the way he plays, how athletic he is, how strong he is. But I really like the confidence and kind of swagger he plays with. Like you can tell whenever he steps on the field, he's super confident in what he's probably I mean the work he's put in beforehand. So I love watching him play, and he's one of the greatest left tackles to ever do it.
A player you can't wait to face in the NFL.
Um, Honestly, probably KJ or Miles or somebody I played with, Brian. Maybe I think you know. Obviously, we're going against each other at practice, but I feel like a game situation is so different than just like practice, So, um, I I know I just can't give up a sack to those guys like that. I mean, that would kill me inside. So I'd be so excited to play them. Like that would be, so fun to me. But I couldn't give up a sack to them. That would kill me.
Are they talkers? Would they let you know about
Oh, absolutely. I know
that?
for sure. Like Miles would, because Miles used to be my roommate as well. Miles would, and especially KJ. Like if I give up a sack to KJ in an NFL game, he would never let me hear the end of it ever.
A quarterback or a running back, I guess, or an O lineman that you would like to play next to.
Um, I mean, I feel like I wouldn't mind, just if it in that situation, I guess being in Jacksonville, like to be able to team up with Trevor again and Travis Etienne, who obviously I'm super familiar with, like to be able to play with both of them would be, super fun. And it would kind of bring back old memories. And an offensive lineman, that I wouldn't mind playing with is either, John Simpson, Tremaine Ankrum, like they were my roommates here early on at Clemson, my kind of older brothers, if you will. So like kind of reuniting with those guys would be really fun. And we'd have so much fun together. I know we would.
And a guy you would like to pancake the most. You're kicking out in space. Who's waiting for you to flatten?
Um, a guy I would love to pancake. Maybe Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was here with Isaiah as well, and like Isaiah can talk too now, and obviously, like he's a great player. So, to be able to do that, like, would be super fun for me. Like that would be a moment where I'm like, yeah, okay, let's go. Like, I'm excited.
Yeah, I love that. And just finally, when you do get that call and you know where you're going, what would that mean for you and your entire family as well?
Yeah. I don't even know kind of like how I feel in that moment. Like I have no idea. But I know like I'll be excited. Some tears probably will be shed at some point. But it's been a long time coming. A lot of work's been put in to get ultimately to this moment. I know that the work's obviously not finished, just kind of just beginning at that point. But a lot of people don't hear their name called, for a situation like this. So I'm gonna cherish it, take it in, celebrate with my family, and then, it's back to work.